streets. NFR, NFR. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, yeah. NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
Dreams roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night, a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Draw unfolds, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine.
me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, 'cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not be the champ, but he sure is fun. So let's give a cheer for George, our Woody on the run.
In the quiet lanes of Silverstone town, folks are whispering about a boy falling down. Got a seat from his daddy, money's the king. Driving that Williams ain't like riding free. Tires spin, engines roar, but the podium's far. His wheels hit the gravel, now there's damage to the car. Got the world at his feet, yet he fumbles the lead. His dreams race away, but he's not in the speed. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name that can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Now he's got his own team with a famous name. Aston Martin's the brand, but it's still the same shame. Every corner, every turn, the crashes unfold. Dreams wrapped in carbon fiber, truth left untold. Paddock folks shake their heads with a sigh as the green car spins and the hopes run dry. No matter the funds, it's a harsh game of pain. $1 million toys can't shelter the rain. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. Lance keeps trying, but the track's all uphill. Daddy's money, daddy's ride, crashing dreams, nowhere to hide. Bought him a name but can't buy a skill. keeps trying, but the track's all uphill.
Orlando, mate, you had it rough. Car so slow, it was barely enough. Chugging along at the back of the pack. Fans yelling, mate, where's your pace at? Year after year, you'd smile through the pain, dreaming of glory, but stuck in the slow lane. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Orlando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Now here comes 2025. McLaren's car is straight up alive. Lando's grinning, he's topping the charts, screaming, this beast's got 1,000,000 parts. But wait a sec, who's that in the other seat? Some Aussie kid who's bringing the heat. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscars in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Orlando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. Oscar's new, but he's stealing the show, passing Lando like, mate, let's go. Lando's like, I waited years for this ride. Oscar shrugs, cool story, now step aside. Team radio crackles, Lando behave, but Oscar's too busy catching that wave. Poor Lando thought he'd rule the track, but Oscar's out there, no looking back. Fans love the kid with the cheeky grin. Lando's like, when's my parade gonna begin? Still their mates, they laugh, they jest. McLaren's got two and they're both the best. Lando, Lando, what's the deal? Now your car's got wings, it's the real deal. Fastest on the grid in 2025, but Oscar's in your mirrors, stealing your vibe. Orlando, you're quick, but you're not alone. Oscar's got the keys to your McLaren throne. So here's to Lando, still chasing that crown, and Oscar the rookie who's shaking it down. Two fast mates in a papaya dream. McLaren's laughing, what a chaotic team. Oh, Lando, Oscar's got your number made.
Daddy bought him a seat at Williams, hoping his boy would make him proud. But every turn was filled with slip-ups in a sea of screaming crowds. The wheels would spin, the dream would fade. Another crash, another frown. He couldn't keep up with the legends, always letting his team down. Oh, Lance, he's living on a prayer, with Daddy's money everywhere. But buying dreams ain't buying skill. He's crashing hard round every hill. When the axe came down and hope seemed lost, Dad bought Aston, spare no cost. Another chance, another goal, but he's still spinning out so slow. He hits the walls, he finds the grass, breaking hopes with every pass. He's got the power, got the name, but all he brings is crash and shame. On the grid he's just a shadow,
of the heroes racing past. No amount of cash can save him from a future that's fading fast. Oh, Lance, he's living on a prayer, with daddy's money everywhere. Buying dreams ain't buying skill. He's crashing hard round every hill, round every hill. When the axe came down and hope seemed lost, Dad bought Aston, spared no cost. Another chance, another go, but he's still spinning out so slow. He hits the walls, he finds the grass, breaking hopes with every pass. He's got the power, got the name, but all he brings is crash and shame. On the grid, he's just a shadow of the heroes racing past. No amount of cash can save him from a future that's fading fast.
Max the Maverick.
He rolls to the grid, eye sharp as a blade. A storm in the cockpit, never afraid. Teammates tremble, they can't keep pace. Max takes the wheel, owns every race. From car to crown, he carved his way. A predator born to slay the day. The records fall, the doubters fade. A legend's forged, the price is paid.
Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more.
Are born, they tried their best, but Max just laughs, aces the test. He dances through corners, a devil's art, tears up the field, rips it apart. Red Bull's wings, they used to soar. Now it's Max who evens the score. The car's not primed, the rivals grin, but he still finds a way to win.
Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with a mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. Monaco streets, Silverstone rain. He turns the chaos into his gain. A lion's soul, a warrior's creed. Speed's his drug, it's all he needs. They build the walls, he breaks them down. Three-time king still wears the crown. Max Verstappen, king of the fight, burning the track in the dead of night. Outruns the pack, leaves them behind. Fastest heart with the mastermind. Not the quickest car, but he still shines. Bends the rules, rewrites the lines. Max Verstappen, hear the roar. The champ who always begs for more. So raise the flag, let the anthem play. Max the Maverick rules the day. Through grit and guile, he's here to stay. A racing god in every way.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to NFR. Welcome back to SAFRL on a Tuesday night. It's almost time to go Of course, we get going at 8:05 these days. It's almost 8:05. It's almost time to close the poll. That will tell us where we will be racing tonight. At the moment, there's a clear winner. So if you haven't got your vote in, make sure to get that vote in. Where do you guys want to go racing tonight? Do you want to go racing in the Netherlands? Want to go racing in Italy, Great Britain, or Belgium? Already 60 votes, more than I expected. And there we go. Poll should be closed. And there we go. We have 53% for Great Britain. So Great Britain will be the venue for tonight's race. Monza was the closest in second with 30%, but the clear winner, we're going to Silverstone. We'll be back with the start of the session in about 10 minutes from now.
Takes the lead with a grin so bright. Lando's in shadows, can't find the light. Wheel to wheel, but he's losing grip. Champions rise as dreams start to slip. One last race, the engines scream, hoping for a miracle, grasping at the dream. Final lap, and there's no more to give. Lessons in the losses, that's how we live. Pressure breakdown and a running wild. Max speed by with the champion smile. The stakes piling up, dreams in the rear. Pressure breakdown, drowning the fear. Pressure breakdown, Lando running wild.
I'm not sure, can you hear me? There we go, now I think you can hear me. Clear winner, Britain. It wasn't 53, it was 51%. Then Monza 30%. Belgium 15, I thought that would be more of a favourite. And then the Netherlands, the most unpopular choice, just 3%. How is everybody doing tonight? You guys ready for the racing? Are you guys happy with the track selection? You selected it. Some people asking for a revote. Unfortunately, that would cause a little bit too much controversy. So Silverstone it is.
SAFRL thunder roar, spinning wheels forevermore. Engines scream at 8 o'clock. Adrenaline like ticking clock. Turns and twists where legends bleed. Every fan needs to believe. In the league of SAFRL we rise. Fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs. It's the thrill that never dies. Pit stops quick, a race of fate. Champions born at heaven's gates. Trackside hearts beat wild and free. Victory for all to see. Rivalries burn tire lights. Red and green in the night. Final lap on the moon's gaze. Ending in a roaring blaze. Crowd rolls like crashing tide. In SAFRL we take pride. From start to end here fights. Everlasting speed delight. In the league of SAFRL we ride. to the highest highs. It's the thrill that never dies. In the league of SAFRL we rise. Fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs. It's the thrill that never dies. In the league of SAFRL we rise. Fuel and fire in our eyes. From the lows to the highest highs. It's the thrill that never dies. The thrill that never dies. Pit stops quick, a race of fate. Champions born at heaven's gate. Trackside hearts beat wild and free. A victory for all to see. Rivalries burn tire might. Red and green in the night. Final lap on the moon's gaze. Ending in a roaring blaze. Crowd roars like crashing tide. In SAFRL we take pride. From start to end heroes fight. Everlasting speed, delight, delight.
NFR, it's time to go. Feel the speed, let it flow. Racing hearts, watch them glow. Turn it up, start the show. NFR, feel the heat. Fast and fierce, never beats. Engines roar, can't stay off seats. Catch the thrill, it's so sweet. NFR, NFR, drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin. NFR, lights are green. Zooming fast, slick machine. Every twist, every scene. Catch the action on your screen. NFR, NFR, yeah. Drama high, stars afar. Round the track like a shooting star. Feel the rush, NFR. Lap by lap, watch them spin. Victory's close, who will win? In our heads, the engine's din. NFR, let's begin.
Engines roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight. on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near, fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap, drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near, fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap, drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights, tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine.
Well, gather round, folks, let me spin you a tale about a race car driver, George Russell by name. He's quick on the track, but don't get too excited, cause when it comes to greatness, well, he's not quite knighted. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fake. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. He's got the helmet, he's got the car, but when it comes to win, he's not quite up to par. He's got the look like Woody with a cowboy hat, but when he's in the pit, you'll see him shed a tear stack. Now don't get me wrong, he's got some skill, but when you're talking about the best, he's not in that mill. He'll race you hard, give you quite the fright, but in the end, he's more known for his tears at night. He's good, but not that great. Oh George, he's got the speed, but not the fate. Oh George, he looks like Woody from Toy Story, that's no lie. And when the race goes wrong, oh how that boy can cry. So here's to George, with his heart on his sleeve. In the world of Formula One, he's got a lot to achieve. He might not
Come on, it's broken! It's broken!
Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to NFR, welcome back to SAFRL on a Tuesday night. I spoke to you approximately 15 minutes ago. That's when we revealed the circuit for tonight's race. Of course, that was decided by the viewers of the NFR channel. Gotta say thanks for all of the support. A lot more votes coming in than expected. 60 votes coming in, and this was quite the winner. 51%. Next best was 30%, and apparently no one wanted to go to the Netherlands. Already some cars out on track early on. Of course, not a normal evening. Lots of these guys, when they get home from work, they'll do a couple of laps of the race for later, just to polish up. On a night like tonight, there's no real time to polish up. You get 10 minutes to prepare mentally, and all of a sudden you're at the Silverstone circuit. Of course, we are in Great Britain, so do not rule out rain in the race. It's something that can happen and usually does. A lot of cars out on track, but all of them on preparation laps, all of them on out laps. This is Martin almost pulling out of the race. About 30 minutes before the race, then changing his mind yet again. Thought of taking the night off, and then thought, nah, how can I take the night off? Martin in the cockpit, where he belongs. Might rather want to be on the couch, but he's taking one for the team. Essa in the pits, Levy in the pits. Those are two quick drivers. Lots of quick drivers in this field. Look at the field, 19 drivers. It's going to be a very, very busy race circuit. This Virus, he was one of the first drivers out of the pits. He's going to be one of the first drivers to give us an indication of what we're looking for. Saw a question earlier on somewhere in the comment section asking Death Queen if Death Queen would be driving tonight. Well, Death Queen always says no, she's not driving tonight. But I have a theory. I have a theory that half the time she's in Andre's car. Doesn't let us know about it. The question is she in the car when Andre does really well? Or is she in the car when Andre does really bad? Which one is it? Which one are you? First lap times starting to come in. Aston Martin 1-2, Virus and, well, Skull already been demoted down to P3. Lap times coming in quickly. Uno into P2, Skull P4. Mercedes sitting pretty for the time being, 2 and 4. Harsh Cartoon 28-0. He's the driver in P5. Now P6 because Jonas has just gone quickest, 26.3. And Gauntlet thrown. That is the time to beat. We were all messing around in the 27s up until now, but Jonas has showed us 26 is very possible. And if you want to take pole position tonight, well, you're going to have to get something a little better than that. Now remember, that's just his first run. If I've learnt anything commentating on this channel, it's the quick guys. They don't usually give it absolutely everything on that first run. So if that's the first run for Jonas, I expect he's still got a little more. course, another thing that makes these mystery races so exciting. As I said, the drivers don't get all that time to practice, so as the qualifying session goes on, you tend to see the lap times come down as the drivers get back into routine around Silverstone, start to find the grip, and start to get a little bit braver on those tires. Those first laps, they're exploratory laps. You don't really know where are the limits. But so far, Jonas wasting no time, and Wheeze has gone up into P2, also into the 26s. 26.3 is the best, 26.7 is second best, and then the rest are in the 27s. This is Essa, another driver we know can be quick on his day. Here's another one speaking about quick on his day. That's Levy. His biggest rival is not his teammate. His biggest rival is just consistency, and once he sorts that out, it's a name you can expect to see at the top of the field a lot more often. This is Osman. Getting a little confusing now. Last night we had the League v League, and well, those are SKR cars to me now. The black and green. Luckily this will be the last year of the black and green Kicksalver on the grid. I think we're going to have something quite different next year when Audi comes out. Of course, in Miami this weekend, Cadillac will be revealing their 2026 livery, and apparently Sergio Perez is a guest of Cadillac. Make of that what you will. Mink P7 for the Sauber driver, immediately demoted to P8. Such a busy racetrack, everybody needing every single second they can out on circuit. They won't have had the track time they're used to. But Jonas and Wheeze, well, either they've been here very recently, or they just happen to be practicing here, or they need no practice at all, straight into the 26s. Good evening, Dixie Killer. Good to have you, saying just in time for the stream. Yes, you are. I hope you got your vote in. There were 60 of them, and they decided upon Silverstone. This track's gone through many changes in recent history. In fact, this used to be the pit straight. Those pits were still used by MotoGP up until 3 or 4 years ago. It was quite confusing. The pits were all the way down there, and the start-finish line was where it is for the Formula 1 cars. Luckily now MotoGP use the same layout. Don't have to worry about that confusion anymore. It would play tricks on you when you played the MotoGP game, because you just constantly miss the pit entry. Leaded Sky now the only driver without a lap time. He is on an outlap, looking to change that. Not sure if his first run went wrong or if he hasn't had a first run, if he's just been waiting. It would be surprising if he was. Just 8 minutes remaining. Majority of the session has gone by, and he'll be looking for that first lap time. That's when the pressure starts to mount. With each and every lap, the stakes get higher. See Boinkies also in the chat. Welcome to Boinkies. Wheeze, well, he was in the chat, now he's out on track. We're looking at him now, doing a little bit of both, supporting the stream, and at the same time second in the timing sheets. Of course, last week we had, well, we had a lot of penalties, had quite a handful of retirements, and we're hoping for something a little better this time round. But Silverstone has showed in the past on this channel, safety cars are, well, they tend to be quite abundant around this circuit, so don't be surprised to see 2 or 3 safety cars in the race. Some people complain about safety cars, others like them. Of course, last night, no safety car in the League V League. And what started off as a very exciting race in this first stint ended off just a little boring in the second stint. Lots of gaps formed. Safety car didn't come in, neutralize the gaps. And hopefully tonight, these drivers are able to stay together, suggesting those laps at the front. I don't know how many of them are going to be able to stay together. Spikes has joined the 26 club. 26.8 for him, missing out on the front row by just 1/10 of a second. Levy P4, but he's in the pits. Pantry Star P5 also in the pits. This is Virus. Seems to be on a slow down lap or some sort of preparation lap. This is Mink on an out lap. Weezer's gone even quicker. 26.2. 26.2. Jonas 26.3. Such an impressive first run. Well, it's just been beaten by Weez with Weezer's second attempt. There's just over 5.5 minutes remaining in the session, so everybody should be able to still get into the pits, have another run. And if there is no improvement on the cards, well, they will just come off into the pits. They're not going to finish those lap times. Time is crucial now. 5.5 minutes. Caution in sector 2. That will just be somebody driving along slowly. Fortunately for the drivers in the game, you don't have the in real life rules for that yellow flag in qualifying. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to improve in that sector, or your time would be deleted. I think that would be a little bit too complicated to leave in the hands of EA. You'd be getting the weirdest penalties for absolutely no reason. This is Sugar Bear. Also in the chat earlier on. Another one of the drivers spends his time in the cockpit, but listens to the stream in the background. Some drivers can't handle that. Others tend to enjoy it, but the commentator's curse is real. Some of them will just shiver every time I go on board with them. This is Mink 27.1 for the Salber. This is Looking to get himself higher up the field. 27.2, his current best. P7. All of the top 4 sitting in the pits, preparing for that final run. 4 minutes remain. We're saying he's sliding everywhere. Well, that doesn't appear to be the case. He's got a 26.2. Next best, not far away, 26.3, 1/10 of a second there for the front row. Then a bit of a gap, half a second down to Spikes, the only other driver in the 26s. Then Lebby, 27.0, on the verge of those 26s, but not quite yet invited. Pantry Star in the Haas. Of course, they will be joined next year by a real American team. Of course, Haas American only in income. British-based team. Cadillac will be based in North Carolina, on the east coast of the United States. This Red Bull driver, Wheeze, of course, the only Red Bull driver. Second seat has been reserved till the end of the season out of respect for our fallen driver. We had a tribute race to him not so long ago. That's why you see just the 19 and not the full grid. Boinky's saying there's oil on track. Well, all these added features, Boinky's, could you imagine putting that in the hands of Codemasters? We'd probably have a lobby where, if oil leaks were a thing, well, we'd probably have a lobby where the track was just covered in oil. A glitch. Could make for some fun racing though. Rather some fun viewing. Don't know if I'd want to be racing on that. I struggle to keep it on the tarmac, and that's when the tarmac is dry. This is Skulk, driver in P14 in the second of the two Mercedes. Harsh Cartoon, the second of the two Haas, down in P15. Top Gun, P16, the other Ferrari, also outside the top 10 in P12. Such a quick field here tonight. Drivers you're used to seeing a little higher up the field, struggling to stay inside the top 10. Boinky's asking if anyone has a weather update. You'd have to ask the best person to ask is to ask Wheeze, but he's out on circuit. Ask somebody who happens to be in the comment section. I think it's going to be a little difficult now. There's only 2 drivers in the pits, everybody else out on track. Pantry Star, he's in the pits. I think he's in the comment section. I think Skulk is also in the comment section. So if anybody has any information on the weather, of course nothing is going to happen in qualifying, but what will happen in the race? We are in Great Britain, and rain is always a concern. He's currently the fastest, and he goes even quicker, 26.1. Now Jonas over the line. Is he able to find the time? I'm looking at the wrong pit straight. That's the old pit straight. He's not over the line. He's about to go into the Magnussen Beckett's complex. He's just lit up sector 2. He's lit up sector 2 in purple. Keep your eyes on this lap. We didn't get to see the time in sector 1. But if that was anything like the time in sector 2, he might just rip this all up. Best lap time 26.1 for pole position. Jonas 26.3. Does he find an improvement? Yes, he does. It's a 26.1. Almost nothing in it between the two. And what a front row that is. Still got Skull out on track. He hasn't crossed the checkered flag just yet. He'll be able to finish this lap time. If you see him suddenly back off, that's because there's no improvement on the cards, and I think there we go, he's backed off. Martin returning to the pits, and I think Harsh Cartoon also just bringing that car home. Where is Leaded Sky? He is out on track, seems to be going quickly, looking for an improvement. He's the driver in 19th at the moment, at the rear of the field. Does he improve? He's going to stay in P19. I think that is the end of your qualifying session. Well, Harsh Cartoon, you don't want to be doing that. You drag the session on. Everybody has finished their qualifying session, either crossed the checkered flag or sitting in the pits. And look at that front row. 126.1. 126.1. It's crazy. And on the second row, also not much divides Levy and Spikes, just 0.2 of a second. Then look at that third row. Third row, just 3.5 hundredths of a second. Some very, very, very close lap times. Welcome to Cooper in the chat. Good to have you. Joined a little late. Hope you got a chance to put a vote in earlier on. Of course, the viewers of NFR decided the race circuit for tonight. I'm still surprised we're in Great Britain. The options were Monza, Spa, Zandvoort and Silverstone, and here we are. There's your results, Jonas and Weeze. What can you say, 16 thousandths of a second, nothing in it for the front row. Then Levy and Spikes, they take the second row, separated by 0.2 of a second. Then you've got Sugar Bear and Pantry Star 5 and 6, Skull and Mink 7 and 8, Uno and Virus 9 and 10. Then starting outside of the top 10 with a bit of work to do, Martin, Osman, Andre, Harsh Cartoon, Robin, Skulk, Top Gun, Essa, and Leaded Sky. I'm starting to get through these just in time. There we go, we're looking at the empty pit lane. Of course, all the cars to the right hand side of your screen doing their final preparations just before the race. What tyres are you going to start on? How deep into the race do you intend to go? And of course, do you expect an early safety car? Will you take that gamble? It's going to be interesting because drivers just simply didn't have the same amount of time to polish up. You might see some strategy mistakes. That's good to know, Boinkies. Your mom has a Jack Russell called Cooper. My parents have a Jack Russell and it's called Coco. Bit of a extended break. Usually everybody already has a very good idea of what strategy they're going to take going into the race. This time around, a little something different. Guys might still be questioning what to do when they arrive at the grid. That's why I don't think anyone's going to be too eager to press the X. Just going to be holding on, making sure they get everything locked in. Should get the dual green lights, we do. And off we go. McLaren versus Red Bull. That's going to be the turn one battle. It seems like a battle we get in real life and on the game several times. That's crazy. The coincidence. Now Cooper saying his mom also has a dog, but it's called Boinkies. Well, who would have thought? A dog called Boinkies. So we are on our formation lap. Very last preparations you can do just before a race. This is where you prep your tires, this is where you prep your brakes, and this is where you prep your mind. Are you ready for turn one? You want to be part of the action in turn one. You just don't want to be the cause of that domino effect. Boinkies might have been a goldfish. Well, there's a lot of room for error there. You're not sure if it was a dog or a fish. This individual has a terrible memory. Can't remember if his childhood pet was a fish or a dog. Cars now lining up on the grid. Jonas, he will take that first spot. Wheeze in P2, as close as it could ever be in qualifying. How close will it be in the race? How does that pace translate to race pace? We're going to find out soon. Go, we should get the 5 red lights and hopefully no mayhem. We had mayhem last night. Hopefully everything holds on. Red lights go and off we go. Fantastic start by the Red Bull. Fantastic start by Wheeze. In fact, he's got ahead before turn 1. But Wheeze isn't going to let him have it. Gets the inside for the next one. And Jonas leads the way in the McLaren, but only just. That was a fantastic start from the Red Bull. But Wheeze holds him off. Levy P3, Skull P4. Driver we're seeing more and more of at the top of the field on a more regular basis. All about holding things together till the end of the race. No race can go wrong with just the silliest of mistake. This is Sugar Bear in P6, Uno P7, Mink P8, Spikes P9, then Martin in that final points paying position. Let's bring up some data on your screens so you can get an idea of who's doing what. Just the one driver going for the hard compound, that is Sugar Bear. Seems like all of the other drivers are pretty even split between the medium and the soft. Hard tyre doesn't appear to be a popular choice around here. Jonas leads the way from Wheeze. That gap has not changed. Looked like it was going to change into turn 1. Did ever so briefly. Got the nose in front. But didn't last long. Wheeze held on. Kept the lead. And he's held it ever since. Gap is 0.3 of a second for the lead. So expect that DRS to come into play. Boinky, I can never tell if Boinky's being serious or not, but Boinky says that Sugar Bear is on his strategy. So I think if Boinky was on circuit, he would have started on the hard. Of course, there's always the risk when starting on the hard. If you do get that early safety car, lap 7, lap 8, anybody who started with a soft jumps in, gets a free pit stop. Started on the hard, well, you have to stay out, hold on to track position, and hope for the best. Now, there is a change at the front. Wheeze to the front of the race for the first time in this race. Jonas, and he tried so hard to beat in qualifying. He's just behind him. Both of those drivers in the top 2 on a set of mediums. So same strategy for Wheeze and Jonas. Skull on the other hand, he's in P3 and the tyre might explain why. He's got so much aggression early on. Look at all this extra grip. He's utilizing it, he's making the most of it. This is when it counts. Right in the beginning of the race, when those tyres are fresh. By the time they get to lap 6, lap 7, those mediums are going to be the ones getting the advantage as the softs start to fall away. This is a view from the Aston Martin driver. Skull currently in P3 on that soft tyre, and you can see the 2 ahead of him, and those are 2 very quick drivers ahead of him. Rees and Jonas lead the way in Aston Martin in P3. And this is the man just behind Skull. Levy in P4. You can see how close it is. He can see the leaders. Got a DRS train all the way down to P5 for Pantry Star for the lead. Then we get our first gap. It's down to Uno in P6. Then he's got a bit of a, not a bit, he's got a very large DRS train behind him all the way down to P16. But Spikes has just passed Uno, so Spikes leads that DRS train from P6 all the way down to P16. Massive DRS train. And then we have a separate DRS train up at the front. Jonas, Wheeze, Skull and Pantry Star making up that DRS train. Levy was part of the DRS train. I wonder if he just made a mistake. He's fallen out of that 1 second mark. We're looking at Pantry Star, driver currently in P4. Said he was falling back. At least that's what the timing sheet said briefly. It said 1.1 seconds, but he's been able to come back. Jonas, Wheeze, Skull, Pantry Star. Levy still in touch, 1.1 seconds. It's not too far away. He'd like to close that. Jonas and Wheeze, Skull and Pantry Star. Skull and Pantry Star, they're going to be a little bit more desperate than the two in front. The two in front, they're on the same strategy and they're playing the long game. They know they can match each other lap after lap. They know DRS on this game is, some will say slightly, some will say a lot overpowered. So if drivers have similar pace, like Jonas and Wheeze, they were separated by thousandths of a second in qualifying. Well, then they just tend to stay together the entire race, and the only thing that can split them is a pit window. And we're nowhere near that pit window just yet. Lap 5 of 26, we still have all 19 drivers in the field. Martin now down to P19, something went wrong in his race. Also has a penalty next to his name. There's a 3-second time penalty for track infringements. Boinky's saying, well, it's not a name I've heard in this comment section. Bring back TNB. That was quite a different league. It was a league that ran for about 4 years on a Friday night, and what made it different was it was a 100% race. I promise you that second half of the race took it out of you. But finishing always felt like an achievement. Wheeze leads from Jonas, Skull P3, Pantry Star P4, Levy P5. You can see now that top 4 has become a top 3 because Pantry Star has fallen adrift. Here we have Visor. Welcome to Visor. 6 laps into the race. Always fashionably late. Gets to make that grand appearance. Everybody notices him. Welcome to Visor. Good to have you. Lap 6 of 26. Wheeze leads the way. Jonas P2. And Skull still in a very strong 3rd place. Keeping up with drivers he has no right to be keeping up with. Looking at positions made up in the race. Positions lost. Skull has made up 4 positions. Thought it was 2. In fact, it was. Am I reading that right? Yes, I am. 4 positions. So he's had a fantastic start on that soft tyre strategy, really going according to plan. Not too many positions gained and lost. 1 here, 2 there. Nothing crazy. Nobody having a shocking start. And nobody has made a pit stop just yet. So that suggests nobody's got damage then. Fantastic racing so far. If I'm not mistaken, Boinkies, when you were in TNB, I think you were quite synonymous with that horse. I think I remember you racing the horse a few times. Am I mistaken in saying you were TNB Tier 2 champion twice, I think? Or it was just someone else called Ronald. Wheeze and Jonas just trading places again. If you want to feel a little old, Boinkies, TNB was founded 9 years ago. That's right, TNB was founded in 2016, picked up a lot of momentum on the 2017 game. That is a league that has since disappeared. Wheeze, Jonas, Skull, still the top 3, still those soft tyres are holding on. Still able to keep up with the leaders. Thought those soft tyres may start to fall off already by now, lap 8, but for the time being looks like he's able to stay with them. Of course, if he's able to just throw in perfect lap times lap after lap, even if he is a few tenths slower than these two in front of him, if he's able to stay in DRS, the longer they tow him around, he's getting a fantastic advantage. Boinky saying tier 2 was too easy. Just to rag on Boinkies a little bit, NFR at its peak expanded to 2 tiers. We had more drivers than race seats, so we went for the second tier. Boinkies was one of the drivers that signed up for tier 2, went on to win the championship, I think twice in a row if I'm not mistaken. And then we told him, listen, you've won the championship twice, we've got to promote you, this can't keep on going, you've got to join tier 1. And I'm pretty sure he refused. He got there eventually, but if I remember correctly, it took some convincing. Didn't want to go to tier 1. He was enjoying being the championship leader of tier 2 a little too much. They should make the rule like Formula 2. If you win the championship, well, you're simply not allowed to stay and defend your title. You've got to move on. Not necessarily a rule I agree with. You win the Formula 2 title, you have no Formula 1 seat to go to, and they effectively throw you out of the formula. If you don't become a test driver, well, your F1 career is probably over. I think Formula 3 and Formula 2 need a rethink. You have some drivers who have been in the championship for 6 and 7 years due to having the right sponsors, but they never won a championship, so they get to stay there. Other drivers excel in Formula 2 and effectively get kicked out of the championship. 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane for spikes. That one's going to come back to hurt him. course, if he does another pit stop, he'll serve that in the pit stop. If not, gets added on to his race time. It's so crucial for all of these drivers when coming into the pits. That can cost you a race. All of them so desperate to hit the brakes at the very last second. You don't want to waste any more time coming into the pits than you absolutely have to. They hit the brakes on the absolute limit, and sometimes they just go over the limit. Becomes a 10-second penalty. And if you've ever driven this game or a game similar to this one, you know making up 10 seconds it's not easy. And against drivers like this, it's nearly impossible. Boinky's saying F1 2017 days. Well, I'm pretty sure in terms of game time, it was probably one of my most driven games. I think the most driven game would have to be F1 2020. Anyone can remember the events of that particular year? I spent a lot of time in my rig. But my most played hours on an F1 game are officially this one. And I've not driven much. Of course, all the spectator mode goes towards gameplay hours. So it looks like I should be a master. Guys bringing up some names here in the commentary, in the comms box, that I haven't seen in a while. Afrodox. So many drivers we've met along the way. Some of them came into the community and disappeared from the community. Others, well, I'm pretty sure I've known Boinky since F1 2017, which is crazy to think about. Speaking of 2017, if 2017 seems like a very long time ago, we'll go 10 years earlier than that, to 2007. That was Ferrari's last title. Shocking. 2 at the front, nothing has changed. 0.3 of a second between the two. They continue to match each other lap after lap. They have the same set of tyres on. What has happened to Skull? He has come into the pits. Came into pits from P3. Of course, he had a fantastic start to the race with those soft tyres. Utilized them to the max. I think he started down in P7, spent a majority of the race in P3. He's now come out of the pits in some nice clean air. 3.3 seconds of clean air ahead of him. And he's got a fresh set of tyres this next stint in his race, even though he seems to be down in P10. This is a crucial part of his race. Now what should happen is if Skull's got lots and lots of clean air and a brand new set of mediums, he should effectively be a little quicker than these two in the front. But that's easier said than done. Just look at the names in the front. Pfizer saying 11 laps on the soft. Indeed, Osman. 11 laps on the soft, really extending things. Could be of benefit to him later on in the race. If his set of mediums have a few laps advantage, could make all the difference. If drivers are hanging on to grip in the final lap or two and you've got that handful extra of grip, you could make up a few positions right at the end. These two, on the other hand, well, surely they're just going to get bored of each other at some stage. If they were teammates, I'd say they were just fooling about. Doesn't even look like they're racing. Levy in P3. promoted into that position when Skull made his pit stop. Skull has actually picked up 2 positions. He was in P10, P8 now as other drivers start doing their pit stops. All the soft runners have now disappeared. Majority medium runners. Of course, your 2 leaders, they started on the medium. Which means if they finish this race on the soft, well, it means they're going to be even quicker in the final stint than they are already. Bad news for everybody else. And those hoping for a safety car, well, it's simply not coming. We've had 2 retirements and no trigger. The man in P3, 8.9 seconds adrift from the battle for the lead. Those 2 have simply driven off into the distance. They dragged Skull, they towed Skull around with them for quite some time until he saw that those softs just weren't working anymore. Came in, got rid of them. Now he's down in P8. He'll start to see opponents ahead of him that clear air now finishing off. He's going to have to make some overtakes. He'll be hoping these cars come into the pit soon so he doesn't have to make those overtakes. It's going to affect his lap times. McLaren versus Red Bull at the front. Jonas and Wheeze. Nothing's changed except the order, but those 2 have taken up the top 2 positions throughout the race. Thought we were going to see the Red Bull actually get through on turn 1. Had a fantastic start. Jonas held on to the lead. None of that, I'll let him go. It's turn 1. There's a long way to go. No, he fought for his P1 and he kept P1. But since then, they've just been trading places. The typical DRS slingshot lap after lap. Levy, the man in P3, now comes into the pits. 14 lap old mediums, so the leaders still think there's a little more in those mediums. Levy says I've had enough. Sugar Bear now gets promoted into P3. Remember, he started on the hard tyre. He's going to have the advantage of the softer compound in the second stint. Levy now coming out of the pits. He's chosen a fresh set of soft tyres. He's going to be feeling good these last few laps. We have seen some drivers do 11 laps on the soft, so he should be able to get to the end. 11 laps to go. 17 of the 19 drivers still in this race. Skulk. I was going to say the second Mercedes, not the second Mercedes, the lead Mercedes, because the other Mercedes is out. Martin P16, Let It Sky P17. Guys are saying let's go chat. Everybody watching the race too intently, forgetting to communicate in the chat. Where is everybody? It's just Visor out there flying the flag. Quite a few of you watching. For some reason SAFRL gets even better views than League v League. Tuesday night race sort of outperforming on views. And I'm not quite sure why. More people tend to find their way to this channel on a Tuesday night. Jonas leads the way, Sugar Bear in P2, then Wheeze in P3. Wheeze has made a pit stop, he's gone onto the soft tyre, and now we watch the leader. What does the leader do? Surely he's going to come into the pits at the end of this lap, because Wheeze has tried to get the undercut. He's come in, put on a set of soft tyres, perfect scenario, he's got clean air. and he can just throw everything at these soft tyres. The longer Jonas stays out, the stronger that undercut is going to be. So there we go, into the pits immediately. Saw what his opponent did, and he has to respond immediately. This is Wheeze. Still looks pretty far down the road. Jonas arrives at his pit stop, and off he goes. That's how quick they are these days. In the 90s, anything under 10 seconds was considered incredible. Now anything over 2 seconds is considered shocking. Rather 3 seconds. I think the record is 1.8 seconds. That's either held by McLaren or Red Bull, because I know both of them have done a 1.8. Just not sure of the second decimal whose was actually quicker. 1.8 seconds for a pit stop. Of course, in the 90s, pit stops were somewhat different. Sometimes they'd be really short, sometimes they'd be really long, and that's because there was another element to the strategy. That element was called fuel. Of course, today cars are filled up at the start of the race and they're expected to get to the end of the race on that fuel. It's up to the driver to manage the fuel. But back in the 90s, well, it was the team's decision how much fuel to throw in the car at the start of the race. If you threw in very little, it means you'd have a great first stint of the race, but a very long pit stop. Tended to make things quite exciting. You'd see a team that is regularly at the bottom of the field just decide to spice things up, just to get some time for their sponsors on the screen. They'd go low on fuel, lead the first 4 or 5 laps of the race, but at least get the team and the supporters excited. Skull, driver in P4, Wheeze and Jonas up the road from him, 4 seconds up the road from him, so he was once challenging those drivers, and that's what the pit window has done. It separated them. Do have a caution on lap 18, hopefully that just disappears from our screens. Drivers at the back will be hoping it turns into something else. You want me to say what something else is, but I'm just not going to do it. If something does happen, it's not going to come from the commentator's curse. Sugar Bear still the leader, 7/10 of a second is his lead. But this is an artificial lead. He's done 17 laps on the hard tyre. That's the tyre he started the race on. Ooh, and that almost got messy. He let the Red Bull by. Then he almost got back on the line, almost blocked his teammate for a moment. I think he remembered who was behind him, got out the way. He's having a very different race to his teammate. Didn't want to get involved in all of that. And surprisingly, stayed out for yet another lap. 18 laps now on the hard tyre. And when does he come in for that finisher? Wheeze and Jonas, they'll be happy with that. The second McLaren knew that's not his race. Didn't get involved. And they're able to continue racing each other as they have done throughout the entirety of this race. Andre, the lead Ferrari driver, we haven't spoken about him too much this evening. He's down in P8, picking up a handful of points, making the night worth it. We'll still be looking to make up a few positions, but we'd be hoping for some sort of intervention. But if that did happen this late in the race, I can tell you the pit lane would go mad. Join Robin and Mink as they go side by side. Got battles all the way down the field. So many times we focus We focus on the quickest guys, we focus on the battles at the front, and we forget that there are so many battles that happen in the midfield, go unnoticed, don't get broadcast. But if something crazy does happen at the front and you miss it, well, you'll end up feeling a little silly if you missed it because you were watching a battle for P14. Visor showing support for his favorite driver. This is Harsh Cartoon, the man in question, the driver of choice for Visor, big supporter. That was Harsh Cartoon you were riding on board with. And this is the last man in the points, Osman. He's defending that 1 point from his teammate. His first rule of racing, beat your teammate. Second rule of racing, don't make contact with your teammate. Robin P12, Top Gun 13, Essa 14, Skulk 15 and Martin at the rear of the field. We've had 3 retirements and none of them triggered a thing. It's been a clean race up until now. Got 4 drivers in the penalties column and they're the final 4 drivers in the field, so no penalties affecting anyone at the front. Anyone in points contention anyway. Jonas, Wheeze, Skull, still your top 3. Skull was so much closer, but now he simply doesn't have the tools. It's on a set of medium tyres, where the drivers ahead of him have softs. He's also got 10 laps on those tyres, where the drivers ahead of him have 4 laps. So he's got a disadvantage in age and compound. But that P3 does seem to be secure. Levy behind him on a set of soft tyres. So he's going to have to keep his eyes on his mirrors, keep his eyes on that gap, and if it does start coming down, needs to hope he's got enough to be able to respond if he's going to hold on to that podium. Such a mix of compounds. Not often you see all 3 compounds on the track at once. Especially in a race that doesn't have many interventions. Soft runners, medium runners, hard runners, everybody doing something a little different. May come down to this being a mystery race and strategies not being as locked in as usual. Jonas, Wheeze and Skull, followed by Lebby, Pantry Star and Virus. Sugar Bear, Andre, Harsh Cartoon and Mink make up the top 10. But Mink is going to have to defend that point from a teammate. Top Gun picks up a 3-second time penalty. He already had a penalty next to his name. So I said there were 4 drivers in the penalties column. There's still 4 drivers in the penalties column. All of them outside of the points. So those penalties won't be affecting anyone at the front. But some of the data we don't have is how many of these drivers are on penalties and how close are they. Or rather, how many are on warnings and how close are they to a penalty. For example, there's Skull in P3. Needs to make sure he stays within the track limits. His gap's 2.5 seconds. Penalties, the sort of thing that could make the difference between a podium and no podium. Virus, that's the driver we're watching. He's got a McLaren just behind him. It's Sugar Bear on a brand new aggressive set of soft tires, and I just don't think Pantry Star is going to. There we go. Sugar Bear goes through. I was talking about Pantry Star, I meant Virus. I don't think Virus was going to have the tools to hold on to that. On confirmation, Sugar Bear goes through. P6. Good day for McLaren so far. P1, P6, both cars easily in the points. Not the best of days for the RB team. Robin and Martin, 15 and 16, no points on the night. Boinky's saying, where is everyone tonight? Well, the lobby's almost full. And the comment section, well, everyone's gone awfully quiet. Remember, some of the viewers you see in here will be drivers, which means they're not going to be able to be at their keyboard. But as for the rest of you, it's only Visor and Boinky's out here. But I can see 14 of you in the chat. So unless Death Queen is driving, Death Queen, where are you? If we get no response from Death Queen, that's because she's actually in the Ferrari in P8. We'll never know. Just made a joke earlier about Death Queen driving Andre's car from time to time and us not knowing any better. Something like that happened in the year 2020. Sim racing became very popular, and because of certain world circumstances, we couldn't have any sporting events. So motorsport turned to esports. Formula E had their own Formula E online championship involving their real life drivers at their real life teams. And one of the Audi drivers, well, he wasn't so keen on sim racing. I believe his name was Daniel Apt, and he didn't like sim racing. Thought he was wasting his time. He got his friend, who was a sim racer, to race for him under his name. It just turns out that was a big mistake, because he lost his Audi contract and got fired within 48 hours. And where is he now? I have no idea. Formula E champion, or previous Formula E champion, losing his Formula E career to cheating in an esports game. Boinky's asking if I still race on Fridays. I was still racing on Fridays until about 3 weeks ago. I haven't raced with JPR in the last 3 weeks. I'm just taking a bit of a break, maybe waiting for F124 to come out, and I'll have another go. Jonas and Wheeze, 0.5 of a second, half a second, effectively. Then Skull continuing to fall back, 15 seconds. I was going to say that podium is safe, but is it really? Levy on those soft tires, getting closer, getting closer, getting closer. I wonder if Skull made a mistake. That gap was around about 2.5 seconds. And now it's barely at the half-second mark. Levy will have DRS, and he's going to attack for P3. But how much is left in those soft tires? It's lap 26 of 26. This race has gone by awfully quickly. It's been a clean race, 3 DNFs. They didn't trigger anything. I think those 3 DNFs were in the pit lane. We've got right through the race with no rain in Britain, which doesn't seem very realistic to me. And absolutely no safety cars. Just 4 penalties in the lineup. Very clean racing today. And if you're one of these two, very quick racing. makes this more impressive. You see two fast guys just driving around, circulating lap after lap, switching P1. You think there's not much going on here. Well, every time they do make an overtake, like the one you just saw, there's always an element of risk of human error. You can do 26 laps of this and get it wrong on the final corner, but Wheeze, he's the one over the line first. Jonas in P2, 2/10 of a second. That was the gap throughout the race. Skull, well, I think he's done enough. Lebby 1.6 seconds back. I think Lebby's actually backed off there. Skull will go over the line in P3, secures a podium. I mean, consider who finished ahead of him. That's as good as a victory. Lebby over the line in P4, Sugar Bear over the line in P5. Good night for Sugar Bear this evening. Pantry Star P6, Virus over the line in P7, Andre confirmed points in P8. Now we're waiting for Mink. Over the line he goes, and Harsh Cartoon picks up the final point in tonight's mystery round, which isn't much of a mystery anymore. It was Britain. W for Harsh Cartoon, W for Virus, W for Skull. Definitely. Actually, let's see who the game decides is your driver of the day. It's going to be Virus. Oh wow, PlayStation just disappeared. And is it coming back? Hopefully it comes back. There we go, it came back. So let's try and get through these results quickly before they disappear. Wheeze took the victory, 2/10 of a second from Jonas, who happened to get the fastest lap. So he's going to get 19 points on the night. Skull finished P3 in a race of his own, 18 seconds adrift from the leaders, but finishing ahead of Levy in P4. Then Sugar Bear P5, Pantry Star P6. Virus managed to finish in P7. Andre got in the points P8. Mink P9. And Harsh Cartoon took that final point. No points on the night. P11 for Osman, P12 for Essa. We've got Robin 13, Skulk 14, Top Gun 15, and Martin De Brain making up the field. We also have a DNF column, not too long this time round. Spikes, and Leaded Sky did not make the distance. Well, folks, that is the end. That is the end of our mystery round. That is the end of Silverstone. And what a race it was. Jonas, Wheeze. It's what we've come to expect from those two. And they didn't disappoint. Lap after lap. No mistakes. Very nicely done. And a fantastic result for the driver who finished in P3. Remember, Skull started in P7. Made his way up to P3. Managed to stay with the leader surprisingly in the first stint. And it was enough to guarantee his P3 at the end. Of course, it was a very popular stream this evening. We got quite a few viewers at its peak. We got 60 votes to decide on tonight's circuit. So thank you everybody who got involved, whether you got involved just in the poll, whether you got involved by watching the stream, commenting in the comment section, or if you were one of the drivers. Thanks to everybody who makes SAFRL a reality. We couldn't do it without you. Of course, channel takes a bit of a break now. We come back on Sundays. That's the schedule here at NFR. We've got SKR on Sunday. That is at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. League v League on a Monday night at 8. And what we're doing right here, SAFRL, on a Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. I hope to see you all back next time on Sunday. And until then, thank you all. If it's your first visit to the channel, remember to subscribe. If you've been here many times before and find yourself here again, remember to leave a like on the video and all that good stuff. Till Sunday, till next time. Cheers.
Drums roar, the crowd goes wild. SAFRL under the lights. Tuesday night, a battle begins. Speeding hearts chasing winds. Pit stops are lightning fast. Every second a driver must grasp. Bumps and spins on curves so tight. Fighting for glory beneath the twilight.
I am stupid. I am stupid.
SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. The checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Draw unfolds, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on this stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights. Tears and triumphs on the line. In the race of life at 8 p.m. shine. Checkered flag is waving near. Fans are cheering, can you hear? Highs and lows in every lap. Drawn falls, no time for a nap. Competitors push with all their might, risking it all in the fight. Victory awaits the bold and brave. Legends are born on the stage. SAFRL on a Tuesday night. Adrenaline rush and flashing lights.